Call of the Night continues to be just absolute gold. Every episode's so gold. I didn't do an episode last week because, I did enjoy a lot of the developments that happened around Akira. I didn't really feel like there was enough there to really talk about it. It was really just her confirming that Ko, despite the fact that he's now enjoying the nightlife, he doesn't really change too much. Like, she still feels like Ko is still inside there. And it was kind of relieving to her to find out that whatever Ko's doing at night isn't as nefarious as he thought it was, despite the fact of having this whole moment where it just felt like this goofy little couple trying to explain what they're doing at night, and Nazuna just freaking out, eventually having this nice little moment of them laying together. But it was a solid episode. But five was great. Episode 5 was absolute greatness. It was really a lot around seeing Nazuna's side of the whole situation. We always see Ko. He goes, sneaks out at night, looks for Nazuna, they hang out together for a little bit, then he leaves. But this is like, we got quite a bit of perspective of Nazuna herself. It was interesting right at the very beginning, we get to, I guess, confirm that Nazuna can, in fact, have sunlight hit her. She's laying there, the sunlight coming through the window, unless there's like a filter on the window. But yeah, she technically doesn't melt with the sunlight, but it was funny, kind of, it gives a little perspective at the very beginning of like what it is to be a vampire. Like, it's not all great. I almost felt like this would have been a great moment to have Ko there as she explains all these kind of inconveniences of being a vampire. The fact that you miss your deliveries because you're sleeping during the day. The fact that you can't wash your clothes at night because you'll wake people up. There's like all these goofy little things that, people they do during the day that you just won't do at night. So there was even this point where she's in the bath and she talks about how it's really inconvenient that I can't see myself in this mirror. The fact that vampires don't have reflections is really extremely dumb. But no, this is cute because she goes to the bathhouse. She leaves her watch behind and says, hey, if this buzzes or rings, let me know. And so she goes in there, she's taking a bath and she's talking about the reflection. And eventually, yes, the buzz happens and she bolts out the door. Like bolts. Like doesn't even get dressed. She just bolts out there. And it was like, that's where it clicked for me, honestly. It was at that clicking point of, Nazuna really likes Ko. Like, she really... And now, you can make the joke that it's just because she likes drinking his blood. This is literally like she gets a phone call that there's a cheesecake waiting for her. Like, your delivery of this delicious cheesecake is ready. But bolting out the door like that, not even getting dressed, and she even says it to him directly to his face. Why are you dressed like that? Well, I had to rush out here. I didn't finish my bath. I had to come out here because you buzzed. It's like, yes, partly, again, that feeding, that delicious taste, but at the same time, it's friendship, it's that bond the two of them have. And I think that was a classic golden point in which it kind of solidifies Nazuna really enjoys her time together as well. He's not technically a burden, even though, again, she will use that against him later. Pretend that he's a burden. But yeah, Nazuna looked really great when she was just nothing but that sweatshirt. Looked really good. And technically her hair down. I have to say, as much as I think that the toga look is great, the hair down was 1,000 times better. I loved it. But again, that's the whole aspect of most anime. They don't like long hair. It's like they don't like animating or drawing long hair. So every character has to have short hair or have it cut at some point. Going back to the bathhouse, though, was a very interesting scene for me. I think this is a huge insight into Ko as a character with this particular scene. Again, he's always struggling to figure out friendships. It does seem like he's solidifying this thought process that Nazuna is indeed a friend. Like, he seriously sees her as a friend. Now, he's still trying to figure out what love is. That's still the remaining thing that he has a question mark about. But at least here, he's realizing that. But the cool thing in the bath scene was that he's realizing at this point that he's enjoying his time with Nazuna. This is a fun thing, and he's enjoying it. But at the same time, he's still attributing a little bit of anxiety to it. Having fun is giving rise to all these emotions that he didn't think that he had. His heart is always busy, and the feeling of having fun is an emotional strain in itself. And technically that he has these concerns and anxiety over if he should continue doing this every night or not. And it really felt like the beginning of this inner thought process was really putting a lot of emphasis on, look, I try to get away from life. I went to the nightlife to get away from all these anxieties of the day. And it felt freeing that he was just out there, nothing to think about, nobody to bother about. But now he's starting to have relationships once again, and now it's giving him a lot to think about, and that's becoming a strain on him again. I'm guessing at some point he's going to have to decide if this is worth it or not. the idea of being with other people, the idea of having conflicts and stuff is worth it in the end. But no, this is where he believes that he's Doki Doki for Nazuna once again and asks her to drink his blood, and fair enough, not a vampire. And this is funny because this kind of leads them going to this hotel, and yes, of course, it has to end up being a love hotel. And we have this really interesting exchange between Nazuna and Ko. It seems as if Nazuna has been this entire time trying to push emotions upon Ko because every time he experiences some sort of emotion, his blood tastes differently. So she's excited, and she even encourages him. Have fun, have pain, have joy, have sadness, have all these emotions because I want to taste every one of them. And it was almost funny because it almost plays a parallel to the idea of, I want you to experience all these emotions so that I can experience them with you. It kind of plays into that idea. And yes, it feels very cheesy. Yes, it feels very off. But yes, it's when it was saying that, it really felt like she was literally saying, have all these emotions. They're good things, and I will experience them for you. I will take them upon myself. It expressed technically just before this scene that every time that she draws his blood, there's two things that happened. It clears his head of everything he's worrying about, and it confirms his feelings. So that first part, clearing his head, is technically a thing. She wants him to experience sadness. Then she'll drink his blood, taste it, take it upon herself, and then he will clear his mind. So it's almost like it's trying to create a codependency of friendship here. It's interesting that he feels immoral because of the way that he thinks of a friend, Nazuna, lustily or whatever. But at the same time, also interesting that Nazuna understands how he feels based on the taste of his blood. So she's provoking him purposely. She's being lewd on purpose, all for the sake of making his blood taste different. And then we break the whole scene by her saying that she wants to look up Prawn on the TV, and then gets mad because she has to pay for it. And the final part that we had of the episode, we have Nazuna reveal what she does for money. Apparently, she is a professional cuddler. So she has people come to her door, and she does different services for them to make them feel comfortable, like massages and stuff like that. And yeah, usually at the end of it, she would drink their blood, but yeah, so she's really good at massage. She knows a lot about it. So she puts Ko through the entire run, massages him and all that kind of stuff. And yes, gets plenty of questionable positions for him. And that eventually leads to her being tired, and then a knock at the door as a random office lady shows up for cuddling services, a massage service. And Nazuna is trying to push that upon Ko. So I don't know, maybe the next episode will open up with Ko doing a massage. There's a side of me that kind of wonders if she'll end up being a vampire, but it seems like it's really pushing it off as being, this is a random office lady, she wants a massage, and yeah, Ko apparently is going to have to perform it, which Nazuna apparently is going to pay him with 2,000 yen and a kiss, so he's not going to turn it down. But yeah, like I said earlier, it's technically Nazuna trying to push that upon him by stating that, well, since I've been hanging out with you too much, I don't get any money no more. I'm running out of money, so you could do this for me, right? It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to the opening of the next episode. I want to see if she manages to get Ko to do this for her. But yeah, fantastic episode as always. Just a nice little mixture of the comedy beats, the chemistry between Ko and Nazuna, kind of getting back to just the two of them, not having Akari a part of it. But like I said before, a lot of insight into Nazuna and really what she feels like, her perspective of this whole situation, which I think is nice and refreshing for the series so far. It is surprising that we're almost halfway through the show and we haven't seen any of the other vampires, which again was kind of a selling point at the very beginning of this show with the key art and everything, but I'm not upset. I'm loving it so far, and I'll wait for it patiently. But anyways, this is my thoughts on Call the Night episode 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already so you can get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. I'd greatly appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.